This episode's going to be fun. Here's where a fairground is the best leadership classroom that you'll ever visit. This isn't just nostalgia for me, it's a playbook. My grandparents have camped at the Iowa State Fair since the 60s. Grandma would tackle one section every single day with her little map and agenda, while Grandpa lived in the barns with patience and focus, watching all of the livestock shows. That mix of clarity, courage, and celebration is exactly how we lead without burning out. Today, I'm going to share 10 blue ribbon moves that you can use this week. So, if you lead a team or just your calendar, this is your corn dog on a stick plan for the fourth quarter. Welcome to the Lead with Spark podcast, the show where real women lead with authenticity, show up with presence, and live out their purpose. I'm Lynsey Mulder, speaker, C-suite executive, family gal, travel junkie, and a firm believer that your leadership starts from within. Around here, we go beyond the fluff. We talk about the real stuff no one teaches you in leadership training. Your values, your superpower strengths, boundaries to stop burnout, and how to quit being the chaos coordinator of your own life. Whether you're building a business, leading a team, or just trying to stop feeling stuck in the daily grind, this is your space to get clear, get aligned, and finally lead with confidence. So let's cut the noise and reconnect with the spark that makes you, you. Let's go get our spark on. If you have never stepped onto the Iowa State Fairgrounds, then you have to picture it. So close your eyes, unless you're driving, of course, and just imagine this. 160 rolling acres buzzing like a beehive with about 100,000 people. The scent of kettle corn and corn dogs, barbecue, all drifting past you as you look up and you see the sky glider that's floating over the Grand Concourse. There's the legendary butter cow, and this year the Toy Story gang was with them, chilling out in the agriculture building. It's kind of like the Mona Lisa at an art exhibit. There's over 200 foods, about half of them on a stick, because of course in Iowa, we believe all of those tasty foods should come with a handle. You'll see future presidents shaking hands, chart-topping concerts. There's tractor pulls that will just rattle your rib cage. The 4-H kids are running around in their pressed blue jeans, and the avenue of breeds where all of the animals have better hair days than most of us. This is not just a local thing to Iowa. The Iowa State Fair is featured in the New York Times bestseller, 1,000 Places to See Before You Die book. And Midwest Living calls it one of the top 30 things that every Midwesterner should experience. In other words, this place is a masterclass in awe. It's huge, it's amazing, and there's something for everyone to do. That's where I'm actually at today while recording this episode. We're going to pull in leadership lessons that I have learned straight from the fairground dust. You see, my family has deep roots here. We inherited my grandparents' campsite out at the Iowa State Fair campground. Believe it or not, there is a 20-year wait list to get a campsite at this campground during the fair. It's crazy. People put their kids' names on it when they're born in hopes that by the time they're old enough to have their own camper, they'll have a site. We're pretty sure my grandparents started camping here around 1965, which makes this year our family's 60th anniversary at the Iowa State Fair campground. My grandparents came here to the fair every year as their holiday. It was their vacation. They loved it. And my grandma came every year until she was 87 years old. She would attack the fair like a professional woman. She created a map, highlighted the things she wanted to see, and then she would organize her week with one section per day. No apologies. She would hit the concerts, the food judging, shopping, the art exhibits, all of the things that she loved. Whereas my grandpa, he would beeline it to the livestock shows, watch all of the different animals, talk with the farmers, check out the tractors and the equipment. For us, this year, we took our 3-year-old grandson for a few days and carried on the tradition. He was able to conquer Cowboy Bootcamp, crawling through the garden tunnels, and shared a nitro ice cream with his Uncle Lawson that had his little eyes as wide as the Ferris wheel. Our tradition rolls on, and so do the lessons from the state fair. Today, I want to share 10 blue ribbon rules that you can use this week to lead with more clarity, more courage, and of course, joy. And don't worry, there's no sticky fingers that are required as we talk today. So let's get to it. Here are the 10 blue ribbon rules that are lessons I took away this week. First, map the grounds. What that means is context first and request second. My grandma never went to the fair. She mapped the fair. One section each day. A short list of must-sees and an equally important list of not todays. That's exactly how high-trust leaders start a week or a project. Before you ask anyone to move, we name the destination. Where are we headed? What are the stakes and the path that we're going to take? And be just as explicit about what we're not doing. You see, when Grandma would identify one section, that meant she wasn't going to tackle everything else. When we can provide that map, it lowers the anxiety of our team, and it actually speeds up decisions because people can see where their work fits in. In practice, that sounds something like, here's our goal for the week, why it matters, these are the steps that we're going to take to get there, and here are the things that we're pausing so that we can do this really well. When everyone shares the same map, they stop second guessing and start moving in the same direction together. The second one is enter the ring, which means communicate and show in iterations and learn. You see, at the livestock ring, no one waits for a perfect calf. You have to show it. You learn, you improve. The workplace version is a draft, a pilot, early communication, or maybe it's a limited launch that trades perfection for information. Action converts opinions into data and makes feedback objective, not personal. Communicating early allows for feedback along the way and is a key part of any change management strategy. You would move forward and share that you're going to put a version in front of stakeholders on a specific date. You'd test it out for clarity and the risks, and then you'd iterate on that. That early communication gets the buy-in that you need to move forward. You'll be surprised at how quickly momentum and confidence builds when showing becomes part of your normal. Next is post the judge's card, which means define success before you start. Blue ribbons aren't given out at random. The rubric is posted on the wall. You know when you submit your artwork or your antiques or your cattle or whatever it might be for the competition, your work should be the same. Publish your success criteria, the deadline, the decision rights before an effort even begins. You are probably measuring it already, so share what those measurements are. When people know what good is and who decides what, they will self-correct themselves. They'll ask better questions. They'll take smart risks without burning out on guesswork. Knowing what that rubric is to win and setting that clear criteria are a quiet form of psychological safety, which is what everyone is after. Moving into the next one, practice showmanship. Share your headline first and then 3 facts. Great presenters at the fair, they're not the loudest people, but they are the clearest people. Showmanship at work is structure plus breath control. Lead with your headline. That could be your purpose or why you're here, your recommendation decision, and then offer your 3 strongest facts that support that headline. Don't overload the presentation with everything that you know. You want to allow space for people to process, ask questions. They put you in charge of this project, program, task, whatever it might be, because they know that you will be successful. So they don't need to know everything that you know. You don't need to do theatrics and share all of the details. Well, I guess unless you're in the pig calling contest at the state fair. At work, you simply need to share your headline, your message. Have a steady posture and a pace that lets people absorb what you're saying and then have the opportunity to engage. The fifth rule, barn chores before the midway. This is probably obvious to most people. Needle movers are the ones that are getting up early and taking action. The livestock barn rhythm is simple. Chores first, midway rides later. Translate that to your calendar. Protect that first 60 or 90-minute block of time for the few tasks that are the highest priority that will change your week. Then let Slack, email, and all of the meetings start to fill in the edges. You want to share that you're doing that respectfully so that people know that you're not disappearing. For me, I block every day from 8 to 9 a.m. That is my time to be the needle mover. That's when I'm getting my planning done, making sure I'm working on the highest priorities throughout the day, getting rid of those things that shouldn't even be on my list. When you anchor the day in what matters, then you earn the midway ride time, and you do that without guilt. At that point, your results are compounded because you've honed in and focused on what's most important so that you can really enjoy the thrills later. One of my favorite rules comes from Little Hands on the Farm. That's all about delegating ownership, but not the chores. We took my grandson this year, and boy, do kids learn fast at Little Hands on the Farm. They run the whole agricultural loop. They get a little seed that they plant, then they get to harvest it, pick the vegetables and pick the fruits. They drive their little John Deere tractors around the loop. And then at the very end, they get to sell their veggies where they get $1 and they can buy anything in the store. Delegation works best the same way. We don't just toss out tasks, which seem like chores. We actually transfer the outcome. It might be with guardrails or resources or checkpoints, but we're giving that responsibility and accountability to whoever we're delegating ownership to. It's amazing how quickly capabilities grow when people feel trusted to drive and how much time you regain when you stop riding the brakes. Delegating allows people to really come into themselves and show their own spark. I have to tell you too, my grandson with his $1, he got an ice cream sandwich. He was in heaven. Ice cream is one of his favorite things. You pair that with 2 cookies, and it is like the best of the best. He scarfed that ice cream down right away. Next up, do the midway math. Fewer rides equals bigger views. Not every ride is worth the ticket or the stomach ache, especially if you just downed a pickle dog on a stick. Leaders choose projects the same way that fairgoers choose their rides. What's the upside? What's the cost? What's the toll going to be on the team? Do we need to cap the number of spins? When we state those trade-offs aloud, there's no mystery. We're saying no to A, B, and C so that we can ride Z twice and get the view that we actually need for our customers this quarter. A visible list of the won't do's or those guide rails for your team prevents quiet overload and protects the quality of the projects that you do decide to move forward on. Make sure you're focused on the right projects and not trying to ride all the rides in one day. Rule number 8, walk the varied industry building. This building holds 300 companies with booths, giveaways, products to sell you. It's honestly a mini class on customer value. It's a shopping extravaganza and in the air conditioning, so it's really popular during the super hot fair weather. Walk the varied industry building with curiosity and purpose. As you approach each booth, be prepared with 3 fast questions. What problems do you solve? What's your proof? And if you had my constraints, what would you do first? You will come away with sharper ideas, better filters, and fewer blind spots. Going into those conversations where you ask for the problem and the proof before you move, make sure that you're only taking action on the things that make sense. Even though I'm terrified of heights, I have to include rule number 9. Take the Sky Glider for a weekly altitude check. At the fair, there are 2 sky gliders, not just one. They pass over the fair concourse. So you look down from 40 feet in the air. You can see bottlenecks of people. You can also see empty pass. You see where the crowd is clumping together. You watch the parents chasing after their kids, the food that accidentally gets dropped on the ground, and all the people saving seats at the Bill Riley stage for the next concert. Leaders need that same aerial view every week. Book a reoccurring 20-minute meeting with yourself, that glider pass to scan over you and your team's work. What's blocked? What's truly critical? Where's the effort not matching the impact? What fell down last week? Then start to make adjustments that will unlock the most value for you or for your team. Simply send it out in an announcement. Hey, quick altitude check, team. Here's one change that we're going to make so that the team can move faster. Strategy alone isn't just a retreat. It's a ritual. It's about creating those habits that allow us to have that weekly altitude and chart our course, making those adjustments as we see that we need to. If we just choose point A to point B and think there's a straight line, we are going to miss out on all the other opportunities around us simply because we didn't lift up our eyes and take a look. The last rule, the blue ribbon board. Turn invisible work into visible wins. Our family keeps the memories, the photos, the ribbons, the stories, so that the wins don't disappear. Inside our camper, they're hung up all over. Do that at work too. A simple Teams chat or a Slack channel makes progress visible and combats the invisible work tax. That tax that's quietly stalling engagement and motivation. Keep it lightweight and rhythmic. Every Friday, share 2 bullets. A win and the impact that it made. It's simple. Visibility isn't about bragging. It's responsible reporting. It's elevating our team. It gives them proof of momentum and gives leaders something real to champion. Whether small or big, the invisible work is worth celebrating. Let me pull on the family thread again. Grandpa demonstrated quiet strength. He could spend hours in the livestock barns. His soft eyes, his hands folded, completely present as he sat in the stands and watched each kid out there doing his best. He taught me that excellence often looks like patience. Then there's my grandma. Sparkly eyes, a program highlighted and neatly folded in her purse. She would map out the fun with precision. She taught me that joy loves a plan. And now my grandson is teaching me. He had so much fun running through the expert gardener's tunnels. Time after time, he would jump out, put one hand in the air, make a pose, and say, "I did it." He reminded me that learning accelerates with play. For us, it's 4 generations of learning. It's one fair, but it's the same truth. Leadership is a blend of steadiness, structure, and spark. Here's a micro exercise for your fair pass. Grab a piece of paper or open up your notes on your computer. 3 rides. List 3 priorities that you're choosing or you're mapping out for this week. Primetime concert. Circle the one that gets your best 90-minute time block. 2 no's. Write 2 distractions that you're choosing not to ride on this week. And 1 judge. Name 1 person who needs to see your progress or can help you with progress, and plan a quick update with them. Set a reminder right now. Tiny decisions, but big momentum. If you want to make wins visible without recreating the wheel, grab the list of blue ribbon rules from my LinkedIn or my Facebook post. It's your fun pass to leadership. We ended our last day on the state fair at the Rebecca St. James concert at dusk. It was amazing. She did an awesome job. The lights were flickering, the hum of people on the main concourse. Kids, well, I guess adults too, were sticky-faced and starry-eyed, clutching souvenirs from the day. My grandma would have loved that moment. My grandpa, he would have nodded, pointed towards the barns or the tractors and said, I'm just going to take one more pass. That's the balance I want for you. Do the work with care and then celebrate like you mean it. This week, as you pick your 3 rides and post your blue ribbon wins, tag me or send me a note. I'll cheer you on like a grandstand raving fan. If this episode sparks something for you, share it with a teammate who needs a little fairground courage. Lead with clarity, lead with courage, lead with spark. I'll see you back here next Wednesday. Well, that's it for today. Thanks for being here and for doing the work to lead yourself first. If this episode sparked something for you, take a second to subscribe, leave a review, or share it with another woman who's ready to own her leadership. And remember, the way you lead your life is the way you lead everything else. If you or your organization are looking for a speaker, an impactful workshop, or an executive coach, head over to LynseyMulder.com and let's connect. Keep showing up. Keep leading with spark. You got this. I'll see you next time.